That's how it works. He drove up here early. He was here at the beginning of May, did his medical, did his testing, did all that, was with the guys working out, got in his car, drove, got in his car, drove back, 10 hours or whatever it is, right? Just so happened it fell on that day. Once again, I'm pretty sure he's not asking me if it's a game week, Yeah.
It just, the era I grew up in was professional athletes have to be about football all the time,
They are.
24, 365, and
Yeah.
yeah.
They are. It's maybe not. I mean, I don't know how many pro athletes did you know then?
Just how we
You know.
how we talked about them back
Yeah.
in the day, as if they were sport playing robots, and that's all they
Yeah.
should ever be, and not
Yeah.
human beings with other things. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that has changed. There's certainly they're humans. As much as I say this all the time to them, as much as they want this bubble to be intact, there's things going on outside of it. Life is continuing on outside of our little football world, our universe, and, things come up.
Can I ask your impressions of Cam Allen at safety?
Yeah, I think it's still pretty early. I mean, he's only the second practice, which I haven't even watched yet, against, now the vets are in, so we'll see. But he's long, he's smooth, he's pretty tall, seems long, and, he had good coverage against Cody down there today, and Cody made a great catch, but seemed like he was in decent coverage. But, yeah, ask me again about all these guys in a few weeks.
Coach, Jamal Parker made a nice play yesterday, undercut a route. I think it was the second play a team. Undercut a route, intercepted, took it back for a quote-unquote maybe pick six.
You don't think they caught him?
Maybe. Maybe, I don't know. You think they caught him?
No, not him.
Okay, that's fair. Just curious what it means to kind of have that guy back out there running around with the guys.
Yeah, firstly, as a person, he brings a certain energy every day. He brings a love for his teammates, and he's a great young man to be around. As you get to know him a little more and be around him, it's just he gives a lot of energy to people. And then last year when he was hampered by an injury, all he did was stand beside Richie Hall and talk defense all the time and talk offensive routes and how it affects the defense. And every time I turned around, he was standing there trying to learn more. And then the rehab goes really well for him. Although it's tough slugging, he did very well. And now he's back on the field, which I think all the vets that have been around with him really appreciate how hard he's worked, and they see it. They see what he was doing on the sideline or what he was doing, when we were playing games and he couldn't.
You talk about him just kind of being a sponge, if you would, with Richie there. Now I see him at safety there. How important, with some of the changes that you guys have had in the offseason, especially the secondary, how important does he become to your plans this year?
Yeah, of course he's important, and there's a lot of guys that are, right? And we've always had good depth, and I also believe that our coaching staff, to a man, JY, Richie, James, DP, they do a great job of having guys ready to jump in in a bunch of different spots. Guys are always moving around. I think gone are the days where your questions were, well, this guy is at this position, Now you stopped asking those because they're all over the place, right? And I think it's a great way for everybody to learn. But, yeah, he's versatile for sure.
And then Matthew Pearson, now that you've kind of had a few days to kind of look at him, what's...
Yeah, he's really way thicker than I remember. He's a thick athlete, right? So looks good, he's very conscientious, wants to learn. Just once again, another good kid who's loving the fact he's got an opportunity, which is pretty cool.
Did you see him? Where else did you see him before this?
Well, I mean, every time he showed up against U of M, I watched.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
And then maybe just on that note, actually, I was curious, does he remind? Because he said he actually, I mean, he said he tries to tailor his game after, oh my gosh, Earl Campbell. He said it was his favorite player. He said now he's watched Brady. He says he likes Brady. Does he remind you at all, like that punishing north-south run style? Does that, no?
Well, I got to put the pads on and see, you know. But yes, do I think he could punish people? Yeah, but he's been very, very successful in all the football he's played, and now it's just another step, see what he can do.
Mike, I know you mentioned Willie yesterday. He was talking just now about what he wants to get out of camp, and you kind of touched on this yesterday. Is there a difference between guys that just kind of want to survive camp and get through it versus guys that try to get better or get something out of it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can't just survive. I don't think that's the way pro sport or high-end sport is really going to work. You know, we're given an opportunity to practice a certain number of days, to have preseason games, to watch film together, to learn, to come together as a team, and it's an opportunity. It's not just a chore, right? We want to come out of camp really good. So we have to make use of all the time we're given and think of it as an opportunity, think of it as a way to be better, not just trying to get by and pass the time.
Looking at your quarterback room, I just talked to Chase. You got a bunch of veterans and then this new kid. That you've got some neat decisions to make coming up with that group, don't you?
Yeah, we got some time though. You know, we'll see. He seems to deliver the ball well. I mean, he talked the first day when I was just passing by. He said, you know, that 12th guy was interesting. You know, seeing a guy flying around where you don't expect him. And the field width is probably interesting too. You know, you're so used to throwing certain balls a certain distance, you know, for an out cut or something like that. And now it's a little further, and you have much more space on the sideline to do that. So, I mean, it's all a process when a kid comes up from the States.
Are you already thinking down the road as to, I want to carry 3 vets, or is that third spot
No.
like a developmental guy?
Yeah, I'm not really thinking much about that. I'm just trying to think about how they perform at practice and what the energy level's like and what they're doing and how they're running around and making sure they're getting enough rest, all those things. Yeah.
That other stuff's down the road then, right?
Yeah, I think the roster stuff, I'm not juggling the roster right now. You know, it's more or less trying to take in more information. I don't think it'd be fair if I was juggling it right now.